We don't wish jail or death on anybody, and in fact, we aren't even wishing. Instead, in this case, we're basically stating that at this point, an indictment on the whole NLMB is coming. We don't know when, we don't know where, we don't know none of that. But I'm almost 99.9% sure that soon we'll be seeing a no limit indictment in the future.
But you just said you don't like how you know that though? Like why you trying to, you say you don't wish, but you sound like you is kind of doing that though, bro.
And ironic, right? When J-Dog was mad at G Herbo for not claiming no limit no more, his death is basically part of the reason why. How ironic. Because it's situations like this upon others that we've heard about previously that puts these guys on them people's radar. And with G Herbo being who he is, and also seeing what happened to Lil Durk and how he got wrapped up in the current RICO case that he's allegedly involved in, it's a no-brainer to do the opposite of what Durk did and not claim ties to No Limit. What happens is this: even if they can't prove that Herb is involved directly or indirectly, if he's associating himself with these guys who were doing crimes and getting locked up, they can easily say that being that he's this rapper with the money, then he's the one funding the criminal organization. So I guess Herb realized that these dudes are out here moving sloppy and decided to disassociate himself so he doesn't get in trouble. And it makes perfect sense. If y'all remember, it's already been said that No Limit was being watched due to the unaliving of the late Chicago rapper Shooter Shells, where the feds believed that members of No Limit had something to do with it. So with that already being in the works potentially, then you have a bunch of them already getting locked up for crimes, showing guns and dissing deceased guys in their music videos, mixed with these guys getting on social media or interviews and dry snitching on themselves because they don't think that they're going to get caught because they're being so careful. It's just one big recipe for disaster. Now when it comes to J-Dog and his passing, the whole situation was basically documented on social media. Now real quick, J-Dog came home from serving a prison sentence. He decided to speak on G Herbo not doing anything for the guys and mad at the fact that he don't claim No Limit, but he's hanging around the guys still, so he's decided to ban him from their hood. G Herbo and No Limit affiliate Big Op stepped in to defend Herb and let it be known.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I was like, how you gonna, bro, it's okay, bro, if he wanted, like, if Herb wanted, like, he probably not that. He just, bro, he just growing up, bro. That's all it is, bro. He looking at a bigger picture, like you said. He ain't trying to go to jail, bro. He got kids and everything. He ain't trying to be out here, you know. He ain't trying to be out here, you know, catching RICO cases because he got affiliation with, you know, No Limit. You know, ain't like, I don't blame him. Like, so for dude to come out and ban him from the hood and then others step up in defense of G Herbo is crazy. Like, I just don't be understanding it, bro. Y'all mad at a nigga because he wanted to grow and do better in life. He finally grew up and like, hey, I don't want to be associated with this shit no more. You know, they ain't saying he not associated with no one, but he not into anything that got to go on with any should, you know, murder and all that. Yeah. That's what he doing. He ain't like, he said that because he tired of doing it, bro.
That Herb can come back to the hood and he don't care what nobody has to say, so if they did have a problem, they could see him about it. Big Op and J-Dog would now get into it where threats were made, and just days later after the social media back and forth, J-Dog was shot and unalived. Now of course, whether Herb had anything to do with it or not, he was going to get the fingers pointed at him because it was broadcasted that the two was going back and forth on social media and threats were being made. So as soon as J-Dog lost his life, social media immediately said that G Herbo is the one that got him unalived. Now whether he did or not, we're not here for that. However, this is how easy someone can get themselves caught in a conspiracy case. This is why I always say, stop putting street business on social media, because it can literally be used against you as evidence to either try you for a crime or convict you. Simple as that. And right now it's looking like Big Op and Herbo are the perfect suspects for a conspiracy case due to the social media rambling. Anyway, many people will point out that J-Dog was backdoored, but the question is, what happened? The news tell us that J-Dog was walking with a friend in his neighborhood and suddenly he was shot multiple times in his back. Automatically we stated that it must have been a backdoor situation and someone caught him slipping. They say that a firearm was recovered at the scene, which they believe belonged to J-Dog, and this just goes to show and prove the point that we always make. No matter if you have a firearm or not, if someone ups on you first, you are at a disadvantage because you have to get your weapon out first. And the way it's described, it seemed like J-Dog was either ambushed or just didn't see it coming before being shot.
Right, if he was shot in his back, he didn't see it coming. Like, that's what happened. That's what it sounded like. Cause like I said, if you walking and somebody just run up on you and shoot you in your back, like I said, either you was ambushed or you just didn't see it coming. So that's crazy.
However, we would recently find out that J-Dog was involved in a fight before he was unalived. Now, we're not going to say any names that haven't been already said because, as y'all know, it's still an open investigation. But
Right.
according to social media rumors, J-Dog met up with some guys from his hood to settle their differences. They say J-Dog got into a fight with an individual from his hood and ended up getting the best of him, and another bystander who was with that individual would end up taking out a firearm and begin shooting J-Dog, leaving him in the gangway to ultimately lose his life. Now, there's a video of the whole incident that took place, and it showed J-Dog's life.
Like, if y'all, I'm sorry, bro. If y'all homies, bro, why are you killing your homie for beating up your other homie, bro? Like, if it had, bro, if they homies and they fight and they want to settle their differences, bro. Hey, it's cool, bro. One of them got their ass beat. They shake hands out. Why you pull out a gun and smoke dude? Cause he beat up your homie. If y'all supposed to be gang brothers like y'all say, that shouldn't even happen. They supposed to box it out, fight, do whatever do, and that was supposed to be the end of it. You smoked him because he got the best of the other dude. Like that, nah, that is backdoor to set up, bro. Cause that's crazy, bro. I don't be understand why niggas be doing that. Like, it just don't be saying that's why that's my brother gang. Yeah, I'm cool. Brothers don't do that. Brothers don't kill each other after they just got through squabbling, bro, or fighting, whatever, you know.
Last moments. Although the video is kind of blurry, social media was still able to make out who was who, but I'll leave that part up to y'all to figure out. But speaking of the video, there's only one person that got that video, which seemed to be taken from a nearby camera attached to either a house or a business. I'm just curious as to how that person was the only one with that video and how they managed to get it. But that's another story. Now, we seen the video but didn't post it, but if you guys want to go find it, it's all over the blogs. However, fast forward to now, it seems like they already got a suspect for the unaliving of J-Dog, and of course, it was a backdoor situation like we already knew, but this just goes to confirm it. Not only that, but they also have clearer pictures showing exactly how everything transpired and shows the last moments of J-Dog. We're going to get into the article from CWB Chicago, and it's crazy because they literally have still shots from when he raised the gun and shot J-Dog from point blank range. Crazy. And this is how you know how crazy Chicago is and how these guys don't value life, not even their own. Because the suspect, who was the brother of the late NLMB member G. Fazo, he was already on felony pretrial release. So you would think being on felony pretrial release, you would want to be low-key and out the way. But no, this man is on felony pretrial release, catching a body on camera. How crazy is that, man? Safe to say that whatever charge he was hit with in his previous case, he's definitely going to jail for that, and this case, he's basically done. They got him all over the camera, so it's over. Anyway, let's get into the article. Clips from CWB Chicago article would say, quote, "A man who was already on felony pretrial release fired 2 guns at once in the South Shore Alley last month, unaliving 1 man and injuring another, according to a newly filed federal complaint." And notice that they said federal, y'all. Pay attention. Now, Fabius L. Shipman, a convicted felon with a 2019 federal drug conviction, was charged Friday in U.S. District Court with illegally possessing ammunition. Prosecutors say Shipman opened fire with a gun in each hand during the September 29th confrontation behind the 2500 block of East 78th Street. The entire attack was captured on surveillance video, providing key evidence that helped investigators identify Shipman even when the surviving victim did not. So they're saying that the 17-year-old didn't snitch. The footage showed a man with a pronounced limp, later identified as Shipman, arriving in a black Cadillac Escalade and walking into the alley around 3:36 p.m. He approached a group of men and appeared to get into an argument with at least one of them before pulling 2 guns from his waistband, the federal complaint said. He then opened fire with both weapons, unaliving 26-year-old Jalen Hibbler and injuring a 17-year-old boy. The shooter fled the scene in the Escalade moments later. Police recovered 19 shell casings of 2 different calibers at the scene, according to a federal complaint filed by an agent with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
ATF.
Multiple law enforcement officers, including a posing police officer and a former Chicago police officer now working as an ATF research specialist, reviewed the video and recognized Shipman as the gunman, the complaint said. The posing officer stopped Shipman for a traffic violation.
Then you did it on camera though, bareface, broad daylight.
In February, an interaction that was recorded by the officer's body camera. But Shipman allegedly sped away from the traffic stop and was later arrested while wearing a White Sox baseball hat with a gold sticker on the brim, a hat identical to one worn by the shooter, according to the complaint. Sheesh. The ATF's intelligence research specialist remembers Shipman and Shipman's limp from an encounter in June 2019, the complaint said. At the time of the shooting, Shipman was on pretrial release for felony charges stemming from the posing incident, according to court records. He was previously convicted in 2019 of federal CC trafficking charges and sentenced to 5 years in prison, making it illegal for him to possess guns or ammunition. Shipman is the 15th person accused of unaliving or trying to unalive someone in Chicago this year while on felony pretrial release. His limp stems from injuries he suffered after crashing his car while fleeing Chicago police in 2013. 4 people, including Shipman and a CPD officer, were injured in that incident. Now, how crazy is that, right? They're saying the only reason they identified him, despite being on camera, is because he was wearing a similar hat that he wore in a previous situation that he got into it with the police, so they were able to match that same hat to the...
Then you did it on camera, you wore the same hat, and you had a limp, so that you was just fucked all the way. They just called, that's crazy, boy. Like, you was cooked regardless. Like I said, even they said dude didn't snitch, you know, he held it down. But like the camera snitched on you. You snitched on yourself, basically. You got caught.
One that the shooter was wearing during the shooting of J-Dog. That is crazy. But it just goes to show that they do pay attention. And not to mention, you gotta pay attention if you out here committing crimes, that you're not out here wearing the same clothes that you're committing other crimes in. Could you imagine getting arrested after catching a body and the reason why they caught you is all over a hat? Right? Now, a few things. They said this man is the 15th person who was on pretrial release this year and tried or did unalive someone while on pretrial release. And what that tells me is, if this keeps up, for the people that's fighting whatever charges you have and you gotta go to trial, they're no longer gonna let these guys out pre-trial.
They gonna keep y'all ass in jail. Y'all niggas stop, like, y'all just go sit down, bro. I know it, like, this is legit gonna happen. They gonna start keeping y'all in jail till y'all go to trial, bro. They ain't gonna be no more pre-trial releases, yeah, cause y'all niggas can't act right. Y'all, like you say, you gotta commit more crimes, which that's what hood niggas do. They can't sit still, bro. They go out there, oh, I'm free, I can still do what I want to do some dumb shit else and get caught.
Because what's happening is these guys are committing crimes while they're on pre-trial release. Perfect example, Little Dirk. Everybody keeps saying, oh, they won't let Little Dirk out for pre-trial. He needs to be with his family. But guess what? Here's why. They're already saying that he's being accused of putting hits in and trying to get people going by putting money on their heads. So they're saying that maybe if they let him out, some of the witnesses that they have will suddenly start disappearing and they feel he's the reason why. And when you think about it, situations like this do not help at all. He's the 15th person on pretrial release that tried or did unalive somebody. Crazy. Like, do you understand how crazy you gotta be to be on pretrial release and still try to unalive somebody? Like, the way you think gotta be crazy. But as far as the story, according to police, they say that the guys were already there when the suspect approached the alley. So I'm thinking maybe they were talking already, and it seems like everything was under control, but the suspect, who goes by the name of G Fade, is the one that brought the negative energy as he started the argument and then shot first. So it's basically like he's the one that started everything, because maybe that was already his motive to do so even before he got there in the first place. And clearly Buddy thought he was Rambo. Right? He had 2 guns on him and tried unaliving the 17-year-old boy, but luckily he got away. But the fact that he had 2 guns and approached the situation lets us know that he already went there with the motive to unalive somebody. And they literally got pictures of him shooting, trying to unalive this kid as he was running away. So just think about all them shots being fired. they obviously gotta go somewhere, right? So even though you trying to shoot the kid, clearly you missing. What if those bullets randomly hit someone who has nothing to do with anything, or into somebody's house who is just home trying to enjoy themselves? Right? Now, a lot of people assume that it was Big Op who did this, but as you can see, you were wrong. They got this man on camera, and basically everybody knows now who did what. Yes, it was a backdoor situation, but it didn't go down like how most people thought. Right. Clearly, Buddy approached the group who seemed to be talking and probably trying to settle their differences that way. But instead, he went there for one thing and one thing only, which was to unalive J-Dog. Right. And the crazy part is, this is why I always say committing crimes in 2025 is just foolish. Because you never know who or what is around. All these Ring cameras, shot spotters, home surveillance cameras around, you never know who's watching. Bingo, and clearly he effed around and found out. So y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this. Also, y'all
that shit crazy, boy. You feel me? I figured Herb had nothing to do with it anyway. Like I said, that was just because they got into it. You know, that was the first thing that they threw out. Oh, he like, come on, bro. Yeah, I did a reaction on it, but I knew Herb had nothing to do with this. But that's just unfortunate, though. You know, rest in peace to him. Man, it's crazy out there.